Inbound to Clark. Can she do it?
Something happened inside the Indiana Fever on Monday night that nobody in this league has ever seen before. With the game on the line, down by 1 point, 8 seconds left on the clock, Stephanie White's coaching staff drew up a final play. They designed it for Kelsey Mitchell to draw a foul. Caitlin Clark, the best player on the team and arguably the best player in the league, was not the primary option. She was not the secondary option. She was not in the plan at all. And Sophie Cunningham, standing on the court with the ball in her hands, looked at the play, looked at Clark, and made a decision that changed everything. She ignored the game plan completely. She passed to Clark. Clark hit the buzzer beater. Indiana won. And Sophie Cunningham then went on Instagram and told the entire world exactly what she had done. The tide inside the Indiana Fever has turned. And it turned because one player decided enough was enough. Let's start with what the play was actually designed to do, because this detail matters more than anything else in this story. According to Sophie Cunningham's own Instagram post, Kelsey Mitchell was the primary action on the final play. The coaching staff wanted Mitchell to attack and draw a foul. Aaliyah Boston on a mismatch was the secondary option. Caitlin Clark, who had just spent the entire season being described as the face of this franchise, was nowhere in the design of this play. And then Lexi Hull went on the radio and confirmed everything.
Quote, "We were trying to draw a foul there. Caitlin's a great basketball player. She made a read. Sophie was able to deliver a perfect pass to her. She knocked it down when it mattered. I can't say that's exactly what we drew up, but it worked, so we'll take it any day of the week." Again,
We were trying to draw a foul there. That is what the Indiana Fever coaching staff designed with the game on the line. Not a play for their best shooter. Not a play for their best creator. A play to draw a foul, with Caitlin Clark standing on the court. And Sophie Cunningham looked at that design and made an executive decision. She passed to Clark anyway, and Clark did what Clark does. She caught the ball, steadied herself with clammy hands as she said post-game, and put it through the net as the clock hit 0. Indiana wins 78-76. Sophie Cunningham then went home, opened Instagram, and posted a cartoon meme showing herself ignoring the play to give Clark the ball with the caption, "Didn't follow the plan, won anyway. We may have improvised. Oops." That is not an accident. That is not carelessness. That is a player deliberately and publicly telling her coaching staff exactly what she thinks of their game planning for Caitlin Clark. Now here is what makes this moment so much bigger than just one play. Because this did not happen in isolation. This happened after weeks of everything we have watched unfold inside this organization. Lynn Dunn going on a panel talking about weeding out players whose behavior doesn't fit the culture. Michael Thompson saying he has a reliable source that the Fever don't want Clark anymore. The trade rumors to the Sparks, White's clipboard incident, the foul trouble that opponents engineer every single game because White has no answer for it. All of that was the backdrop for Monday night. And against that backdrop, Sophie Cunningham stood on the court with the game on the line and made a choice. She chose Clark. When the coaching staff chose Mitchell, Cunningham chose Clark. And that choice tells you exactly where the players in that locker room stand, because look at who responded to Cunningham's Instagram post. Clark herself commented, "Love you, Soph." Raven Johnson commented. Multiple players liked and engaged with the post. These are not random interactions. These are players publicly validating their teammates' decision to go rogue. These are players saying publicly that they agree with Cunningham's assessment of this situation, that giving the ball to Clark was the right call, that the coaching staff's design was wrong, that the tide has turned inside that locker room and the players are no longer simply following the plan. And here is where the broader picture comes into sharp focus. Because Cunningham's Instagram post was not the only public voice defending Clark this week. Before the game against Washington, Michael Thompson said something that turned out to be prophetic. He said the Fever were misusing Clark, that they had taken away her superpowers, that it was like taking away Serena Williams' serve or Shohei Ohtani's bat. And then during that very game, one of Clark's own teammates proved his point by ignoring the coaching staff's design to put the ball in Clark's hands. Thompson said it before the game. Cunningham proved it during the game. And Lexi Hull confirmed it after the game. 3 separate sources all pointing in the same direction. Now here is where the broader picture comes into sharp focus, because Cunningham's Instagram post was not the only public voice defending Clark this week. Before the game against Washington, Michael Thompson said something that turned out to be prophetic. He said the Fever were misusing Clark, that they had taken away her superpowers, that it was like taking away Serena Williams' serve or Shohei Ohtani's bat. And then, during that very game, one of Clark's own teammates proved his point by ignoring the coaching staff's design to put the ball in Clark's hands. Thompson said it before the game. Cunningham proved it during the game. And Lexi Hull confirmed it after the game. 3 separate sources all pointing in the same direction. And then WNBA legend and 2-time champion Cynthia Cooper stepped forward and said something that cuts through everything. She said this about Clark directly. It's tough because you're a franchise player. You're carrying a franchise. And to be honest, in some ways, she's been carrying a league. She elevated a league. So I know there's a lot of pressure on Caitlin. I know she's not always reacting in the way she would want to, but I give her grace. I've been in that situation where everything is on your shoulders and you don't feel like you're getting a call. I didn't have all the cameras on me watching my every move. I expect Caitlin to make that adjustment. She's going to get over this hump and she's going to be better for it. Carrying a league. That is a WNBA legend describing what Caitlin Clark is dealing with right now. Not just carrying a franchise, carrying an entire league on her shoulders, and doing it while the coaching staff draws up final plays that don't involve her. While the organization's most powerful figure talks about weeding out players whose behavior doesn't fit. While trade rumors swirl around her name. While opponents deliberately engineer foul trouble to get her off the court. And through all of that, Clark shows up. She hits the buzzer beater with clammy hands. She posts "Love you, Soph" when her teammate fights for her. She carries everything with a level of composure that most players could never sustain under this kind of pressure. Carrying a league. That is a WNBA legend. 2-time champion Cynthia Cooper describing what Caitlin Clark is dealing with right now. Not just carrying a franchise, carrying an entire league on her shoulders, and doing it while the coaching staff draws up final plays that don't involve her. While the organization's most powerful figure talks about weeding out players whose behavior doesn't fit. While trade rumors swirl around her name. While opponents deliberately engineer foul trouble to get her off the court. And through all of that, Clark shows up. She hits the buzzer beater with clammy hands. She posts "Love you, Soph" when her teammate fights for her. She carries everything with a level of composure that most players could never sustain under this kind of pressure. Now let's talk about what happened in that locker room after the game. Because this is where the story gets even more revealing. A drama channel went and compared Stephanie White's locker room energy after Kelsey Mitchell moments versus her locker room energy after Clark's game-winning shot.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, y'all, first things first. Kelsey Mitchell for the Kelsey. That's how we play. That is the standard.
Hell yeah for Mitchell. That is the standard. That is how we play. And for Clark's game-winning buzzer beater that saved the season, good shot, C, keep going. A lot of room for growth. That contrast is not subtle. That contrast is not open to interpretation. The head coach of the Indiana Fever responded to Kelsey Mitchell with explosive celebration and responded to Caitlin Clark's game-winning shot with measured acknowledgement and immediate pivot to criticism. A lot of room for growth. After a buzzer beater, after Clark's first ever WNBA game winner, after a shot that saved White's job from what would have been an absolutely brutal loss. A lot of room for growth. And that contrast explains everything about why Sophie Cunningham did what she did on Monday night. Cunningham has watched all season. She has seen Clark get yelled at on the bench. She has seen Clark get benched during winning stretches. She has seen the foul trouble go unaddressed. She has seen the coaching staff design final plays that don't include Clark. She has seen White's enthusiasm for Mitchell versus her measured reaction to Clark. And on Monday night, with the game on the line, she decided she had seen enough. She gave the ball to Clark. She won the game. And then she posted about it publicly because She wanted everyone to know exactly what had happened and exactly what she thought about it. This is what fighting for a teammate looks like. Not physically, not with confrontation, with a basketball pass and an Instagram post. Sophie Cunningham looked at a game plan that excluded the best player on the court and decided that was wrong. She acted on that decision in the biggest moment of the game, and she told the world about it afterward without apology. Clark said, "Love you, Soph." The teammates rallied around the post. The locker room spoke with one voice on Monday night, and that voice was saying something that every Clark fan has been saying for weeks. Give Caitlin Clark the ball. Trust Caitlin Clark. Stop designing plays that leave your best player standing in the corner while everyone else runs the action. The tide has turned inside the Indiana Fever, not because of anything the organization did, not because of any tactical adjustment from the coaching staff, because Sophie Cunningham decided to fight for her teammate when the game plan wouldn't, because Lexi Hull told the truth on the radio, because Cynthia Cooper gave Clark the grace she deserves publicly, because the players inside that locker room are no longer staying quiet about what they see every day. The question now is, what happens next? Does White punish Cunningham for going rogue? Does the organization respond to the locker room revolt? Does Lynn Dunn's plan accelerate now that the players have publicly broken from the coaching staff's design? The buzzer beater changed the score. What Cunningham did afterward may have changed everything else. What do you think? Did Sophie Cunningham do the right thing by fighting for Caitlin Clark? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story is moving fast. We will see you in the next one.